heart control, caffeine, melatonin, love, heart control, caffeine, you get me going. Brain, heart control, caffeine, melatonin, love, brain, heart, wake up, smile. Nice to meet ya. Who could you be? I am Benjamin.
Hello people, welcome back to Talking Comics. Like always, I'll be telling you the basic story while also not trying to spoil anything. If I get any kind of info wrong, please comment down below just to help me and the people watching. If you want to comment your thoughts on the comic, please go ahead, but try and keep it spoiler free. Once again, this video is designed to be a way for people to find out or at least hear a bit about the comic, and if they're interested, they can check it out. Now, The Crow is mostly more well known for being a movie, because of the adaptation. And in my opinion, that movie is great. It does a good job at doing Eric, and visually that film is just stunning. It looks really good, the gothic nature in it. And it's a great film. If you haven't seen it, I suggest checking it out. But if you're a fan of the movie, you might be interested in the comic. Now, the movie does do some stuff accurate, but it's not fully comic accurate. The comic has a lot more stuff in it that didn't make it into the film, and there's some character changes a bit. But yeah, if you've heard of the film, I do heavily suggest checking out the comic either way. Now, with the Crow comic, it's obviously not in issue format anymore, so you'd need to get a book what collects it. Basically a graphic novel or whatever you want to call them. I still refer to them as comics. But basically there's a couple of different versions. The version that I have is the special edition, I believe it's called. And basically that adds in new pages, but the pages what are added were always meant to be in the comic. They never were finished when the comic was being made. In my opinion, that version is good. It adds more, of course, and the stuff what is added doesn't feel out of place. So in my opinion, I suggest getting that version. But if you don't want the extra stuff, you can get the other version probably. But once again, the special edition doesn't change the story in any way, it just adds more to it. The comic focuses on Eric, who's just came back to life. Eric was killed by a gang, and that included the death of his girlfriend, and basically he's back for revenge, guided by a crow spirit that he can only see. The thing with this comic is it isn't exactly full on happy. If you've seen the film, you can know what I mean, but Eric is alive purely on the thought of sadness and anger. He only cares about revenge in this story. He does have moments of hope, but a lot of this comic is quite dark and sad. I know some could see it going into the light of, oh, it's edgy, but I don't think that. It's very clear that the comic isn't fully trying to be cool, it's just trying to show the pain and the anger of someone losing someone and what that could maybe cause someone to do. And obviously I don't think it's trying to be edgy, as the creator who made this did this after losing his wife. I believe that this story isn't really trying to be cool. What Eric is going through is never seen as someone cool. He's seen as someone who's broken, sad, and just rage-filled now. The comic will cut to the past at times, showing Eric's relationship with Shelley, his girlfriend, was obviously his main driving force for revenge. This comic's art is really good. It reflects, like I said, a lot of the kind of grim tone of the comic. This comic is also very violent. Even for a comic that is in black and white, it can get extremely violent at times, what also just adds to the kind of grim and violent tone to it. But yeah, the artwork is really good. The landscapes of the city in it and being very gothic and broken down, it just looks good. The writing in the comic is also done really well. You really get to know Eric and his girlfriend Shelley, and you understand why Eric is filled with so much sadness and pain, and you understand why he is acting like he does, especially since the main villains in this comic are like horrible, very awful and sick people. So it's obviously very understanding on why Eric wants revenge and why he's so angry against these people. Now, some of the dialogue is a bit outdated, and there is an ableist word used in the comic, though technically the people who do use it are the gang members. But yeah, still, I just want to point that out in case you're someone who might not want to get it because of that, was completely fine. Overall, I do heavily suggest checking this out, especially if you're a fan of the movie. But yeah, this comic has some amazing art, and the writing is for most part done really well. But yeah, I suggest checking it out if you haven't. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you liked this video, you can like it, and if you didn't, you can dislike it. That's completely fine. And yeah, that's all, and goodbye.